You are listening to the Bright Life Podcast, all about ways to stay inspired, chase your dreams, and find more gratitude in the highs and lows of the journey. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. I'm a business owner, a part-time digital nomad, a self-growth junkie, a believer in other big-hearted women, and am all about sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and encouragement so we can all live our biggest, brightest lives. You ready? Let's do this. Hey girl, hey, welcome to today's episode. This is going to be short and sweet. I don't have a ton to say on this topic, but it's an important one that I want to just leave you with one little nugget. This is almost like instead of going deep for 15 or 20 minutes on something, I want to just leave you with one thought that can potentially change the way you're thinking about something in your life or your week. And that is this notion of the hard stuff. When it's hard, it's okay if it's hard sometimes. And I'm not talking about the, deeper, heavier stuff, but I'm really talking about if there is something you're reaching for in your life. Maybe it's a health goal, maybe it's a relational goal, maybe it's a business goal, and it's kind of kicking your booty and it's really hard. Maybe you're starting something new and you're having to research a ton of things and figure it out, and you're in the middle of all of it and you don't know the answers and it's taking a ton of time and it's frustrating. What if it's okay that this part is just really hard? Glennon Doyle has said this famously: you can do hard things, I can do hard things, we can do hard things. But if you don't make that wrong, if you almost give yourself permission that this can be just really hard right now, I think you lose some of that resistance feeling to the hardness. So I know for me, anytime that I've gotten that uncomfortable feeling, maybe I'm trying to reach a new health goal and I'm getting frustrated by how hard it is, that's where the tension is if you make the hard wrong. But if you realize you kind of just give yourself the permission to say, yeah, like this is hard. This is hard. I don't want to do this right now. Or I have to go through this part and I don't know how I'm going to do it and I don't really like it and it's not my favorite part of this thing. There's something about that. I can feel it when I say it, and maybe you do too if you're listening or if you practice saying it yourself, but there's something about that turns down the fire a little bit, that turns down the intensity and just lets you feel that it's hard and almost lets you be a little more gentle with yourself or give yourself a little bit more grace because you are in the thick of it. Something that I have realized is that it's almost like the fear of the feeling more than the thing itself. So for example, when I first started going on Facebook Lives and I would get so nervous posting in my group, being out there for everyone, not knowing who's watching, seeing old people I used to know jump online, that was enough to rev me up in my brain and get really fearful about this thing. And that was really scary to me and it was hard. But if I actually just looked at what I was afraid of, it wasn't turning the record button on. It wasn't sitting in front of my camera talking about things that I did know about, that I was excited to share about, talking to potential new friends. It wasn't the act, right? Like it wasn't just sending the email. It wasn't just pressing record. It wasn't just showing up for an appointment. It was the fear around all the feelings. It was the fear around feeling scared to be out there and the fear around what would happen if I got nervous when someone was online and what would happen if someone replied to the email. That is the stuff that worked me up so much and I didn't even realize it. So I want to record this to share so you can realize it, and you can realize it might not be the actual actions themselves that you are actually scared of, that are actually hard in and of themselves, that actually take a ton of work, energy, bravery, or anything like that. Maybe it's just the fear that you are scared of. Maybe it's just the feeling of discomfort, the feeling of fear, the feeling of anxiety, the feeling of how you're going to feel with something unknown. What's so important to realize is you can handle any feeling. You can handle the feeling. If you can handle the feeling, you don't have to be scared of the thing. And what I mean by that is once I realized that I could handle feeling nervous, I could handle the feeling of being nervous before the Facebook Live. I could handle the feeling of being nervous before sending out the contract. I could handle the feeling of doing something I'd never done before and not knowing if I would be good at it. And I could handle the feeling if I felt like I failed at something. Once I realized I could handle any feeling, that I could modulate it with sitting and realizing I'm still here, I'm still okay, that I could make it a little better by going on a walk or telling my husband about it or calling my mom and telling her, or whatever number of things are soothing and healthy ways. If I could realize that I could just sit and breathe through the feeling, I felt so much more unstoppable. I could do those things and I could look at them with so much less intensity, because then I could see them for what they were, which was really just pressing record, just writing something and sending an email and knowing I could handle the response, just going out there and doing the thing I hadn't done before and almost enjoying it too. I realized I got to savor the feeling of this is something new. This is the new thing. I get to find out what happens and I get to handle the feeling that arises no matter what. That is power right there. Like, that makes you unstoppable. That makes you able to do the hard things and to trust yourself that you are going to be the one to catch you after that, no matter what feeling comes up. And even if it's the scariest thing in the middle or before or after, that's okay. It's okay that it's hard. It's okay that it's unknown. It's okay that it's scary. Because you got this. Like, you got this feeling. You're good. You can take care of yourself. You will be okay. Another thing that I heard someone say once, and I don't remember where this came from, but I wish I could to give credit, but it's that up-leveling means reaching up. So when you are up-leveling some part of your life, your health, your business, your relationships, your goals, you're reaching for something different, you're building something new, you're gonna feel like you are reaching. Like, it's not just gonna be like sitting down, this is good, let's coast. It's that feeling of you are reaching up precisely because you are up leveling in your life. So almost again, it goes back to do not make that wrong. It's okay, it's uncomfortable. You are reaching up right now. You are pulling yourself, you're climbing, you're on that incline, which isn't always comfortable. Up leveling means reaching up. And so those are things that I carry with me whenever things are hard, whenever I'm doing something new, whenever it doesn't make sense or I'm facing something I haven't done before. Just remember that, whatever it is for you, it's okay that it's hard. If you don't make that wrong, you can simply sit with the feeling and realize it's just the feeling that you're afraid of or that you don't want to experience. It's just a feeling. It's just that chemical reaction in your body. And you can handle that. You know how to do this, whether it's through friends, whether it's through, walks, through your health or whatever, like you do, like sitting at home with a movie, like treating yourself really well, taking a bubble bath, doing a skincare routine, sitting through it and breathing it. You can handle the feeling. Up leveling. You are up leveling right now. That means you are reaching up. And that's okay if that feels different and that feels new and that feels hard or uncomfortable or like a stretch. You are heading somewhere higher. So be proud of yourself. You can do hard things. I can do hard things. We can do hard things. I'm glad you're here, and I hope this gives you just the little boost you need to remember how powerful, how unstoppable, and how amazing you are. I recently created a free bonus for listeners that I'm super pumped about. It's a 7-day workbook to create your biggest, brightest life, full of exercises I use to bring my dreams to life, work through fears, and take inspired action. You can download it for free at bit.ly/podcast bonus, just as a thank you for listening. If you love this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you leave a review or share it with a friend. That helps so much with discoverability so others can find it too. Thank you so much for listening in. I'll talk to you next Thursday.